Hey guys, Jackster, Free Auto Mechanic. Today we're going to be working on this Bobcat. Was running it, doing this normal thing, and all of a sudden hydraulic fluid spraying everywhere. So I've narrowed it down to a couple of lines on this cylinder. So I'm going to show you how to replace one of those hydraulic lines if you so inclined to do it yourself. Let's check it out. At first you probably wonder which line it was. It was on this side cylinder, and it's one of these two lines here. And I'm pretty sure that it was spraying out of this one. Now, something that's worth mentioning, before you go and take the hydraulic line loose, it's always a good idea to have all the cylinders in their stowed position. Now, some of you can argue, well, it's leaking out anyway, so it's going to drift down. And you're pretty much right for that particular line. But it's a good practice to get into. So we're going to take our 7/8. It's like you would anything else. Loosen it up. Now you get your line loose, and if you want, you can take them both loose at that time, or you can do them one at a time, whichever you prefer. And of course, to get to the bottom side of it, you'll have to open up the back hatch. I leave this crowbar or pry bar with mine. You work this lever, and then to get mine open, I got to use the pry bar to open it up. Yeah. This is 50 years old. This is an old gas-powered job, so not everybody's going to be the same, but replacing the hydraulic lines should be the same on all of them. And then we're going to be specifically looking at the ones on the back side here. The top ends that you saw earlier were up here, and then they run down to the bottom, right down inside there. So again, we'll just do the same thing. Get in there. You can see, not a whole lot to it. Now we've got our old hose off. Now you can continue and take the other side off, loose the bottom here, switch to the top, bottom, doesn't really matter. But that's the one that we're after. We just had to take the other hose out of the way to gain access to this one. Got that one off. Then we'll come back up top and work on taking this one loose. And we're off. So here's the hose I just took off. You can see it's was busted on the back side. That's spraying out. So we'll go ahead and put the new one on. Apologize for the noisy chickens in the background. So your old line, your new line, and what you can look for is you'll see this one's been cracking on the outside, but these are steel braided hoses. So just because they're peeling away doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to be leaking, but when they're spraying fluid out, you know for sure. And you can go pick one of these up and get it made. You want to take your old one to your local auto parts store. Get a nice shout out and a thanks to KLY Auto Parts. They hooked me up with this. You just take your old hose in with you, and they'll make you up a new one. So in order to get that fitting to go on, because the new fittings are a little bigger, I had to put a pry bar in there. You can see I just braced it up against the arm. So that was just enough so I could get the larger fitting, and it takes a 15/16 instead of a 7/8 to tighten it up. So of course once you get it on there, then you'll want to get things tightened up. And of course you want to put the other end on as well. And you can see there's not a whole lot of room down in here, so I have a 15/16 that's cut in half. That's what I'm using. And you don't necessarily have to do that, but makes it a little easier. Then once you get that hose on, then you need to put your other one on. I like to make it a practice to get both my lines started and then go back and snug them up. So that's all there is to replacing a hose. Only other thing that I'll tell you is if you didn't catch it right away, you might need to add some hydraulic fluid. You know, if it's been leaking for an hour before you caught it or longer, usually you catch them pretty quick when they're spraying out at 3,000 psi. But should that be the case, you go ahead and top it off your hydraulic fluid level if you need to, and then test it out. Thanks for watching.